Hey, what's up, everybody? Seminary Kobe here, and I just wanted to offer my insights in a claim that was made on Berean TV yesterday in regards to this sort of appeal to certain individuals that were represented as credible for a particular topic in which we were discussing. We were going through and we were talking about how a word was being incorrectly translated and the tools were being incorrectly utilized to get that translation of this word. And while the mode of defining this word and the method in which it was translated was incorrect, there was still an appeal to these certain individuals to say that, well, the overall argument still holds correct because certain individuals who seem to have these certain credentials and expertise also believe the same as him. So therefore, the argument can still be held as valid. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show the relevant portion from the live yesterday, and then I'll talk a little bit about these individuals, how to vet information, how to vet the credentials of certain individuals, and ultimately how to vet accreditation within the greater theological world of academia and colleges and universities of things of that nature, to show what's real, what's not real, what's a true university, and what's a diploma mill. So with that, let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started on this lesson.
Okay, so I do hear what you're saying, but people like Dr. Thomas Horn, people like
Dr. Thomas Horn is the first one.
Dr. Michael Lake.
Dr. Michael Lake is the second one.
People like Steve Quayle.
Steve Quayle's the third.
People like Thomas, well, his name is Russ Dizdar.
All the Genesis 6 people.
Honestly, I don't even know what he said in that last one, so I just bypassed that. But yeah, let's finish this up real quick.
On social media, he's naming all the people that go with Genesis 6, that specialize in that thing, that Genesis 6 stuff on social media, the most popular voices. Go ahead.
Yes. So some of these people have went to seminary.
Some of these people have went to seminary, he said. Very important.
They've been pastors for a number of years.
They've been pastors.
And they have studied, and they have done in-depth study.
In-depth study.
So
do they quote Strong? Do they quote Strong?
Okay, so that's the relevant portion that we need to worry about right now. He listed out these three people. He listed out Steve Quayle, Dr. Thomas Horn, and Dr. Michael Lake. And like I said, I don't know the last person he said, but these three are enough. And he said that some of these men have been to seminary, some of them have been pastors, some of them have studied, and some of them have studied thoroughly. Who's to make that call about what is studied thoroughly? But it's hard to make that call as it's relative to the individual, but what can be distinguished amongst everything is whether they've been to seminary and if they hold the credentials that they claim to hold, i.e. being a doctor. So I kind of wanted to look at some people in order, what their credentials are, where they went to seminary, and things of that nature. But before I do, I wanted to qualify myself because I don't want to talk about the credentials and expertise of other people without showing my own. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you why I'm qualified to talk about this stuff. This is the directory. Let me make this bigger. This is the directory for my seminary where I work. Start College and Seminary, up there. If you'll see here, they call me Kobe, Jeremy Kobe Covarrubias, and it says here that I am the registrar. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger, just so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. Actually, the pictures don't get bigger, but maybe y'all can see right here. My picture went away. But yeah, Jeremy Kobe Covarrubias, registrar. That's what I do. I'm the registrar. So why am I showing you that, and what does a registrar do? What's the point? Let me go back down, move me down. Okay, so on simple Google search, you could type in, what is a registrar? What is a registrar? And it says, a college registrar is the official record keeper and administrator for all student academic matters, managing everything from the course registration, scheduling, and grades to transcripts, graduation audits, and academic policy enforcement, acting as a vital link for students, faculty, and the institution's academic data integrity to ensure the accuracy and security of student records and oversee processes like class enrollment, grade reporting, and degree conferral. So when I say that I live in a world of academic academics. That is really what I do. While I am also a pastor and while I am also a professor, my 9 to 5, if you will, is being a registrar in a Bible college and seminary. So I deal with all the academic transcripts, all the academic records, what the inputting of the students' grades, which grades will transfer from other institutions to our institutions, how we are going to give our transcript if a student wants to travel some or go to another institution, how we'll get our transcripts to another institution, and to show them that we are legit by way of accreditation and degree conferral. All this lines up with what needs to be recognized by the greater accrediting bodies of the United States. Okay? This means that when students come into SARC and they want to take classes, it's my job. I have to verify that the institution this student is coming from is accredited by the greater accrediting agencies of America. And there are only a few. If they are not accredited by specific accreditors that are recognized by the whole United States, we cannot accept their credits. We cannot say, like, say they go to a church that are like, I took Old Testament survey at my church. I took New Testament survey at my church. I took church history at my church. Can I now come to your school and transfer those credits over to your degree so that way I can continue on and get a degree from you guys? We can only do that if the institution that you're coming from is accredited. If it's not accredited, those credits do not matter. It's like you took them for... Well, you still get the knowledge, but we don't know what kind of knowledge it is that you're getting, which is why we cannot honor those credits and we cannot use them. And it's not just us. This is the way that all institutions across the United States work. Where do I want to go from there? So this is what I do, right? As a registrar, this is what I want to do. Now, I'm going to show you the research methodologies that I engage with daily to verify if a student's credits are transferable to our institution. Also, one thing that I should mention, in our seminary, we offer bachelor's degrees and we also offer master's degrees. You can't get a master's degree unless you already have a bachelor's degree. So, if you get a bachelor's degree from one of these institutions that is not recognized by the greater accrediting institutions, to us, you don't have a bachelor's degree and you cannot go in to get a master's degree. The same thing holds true for if you want to get a doctorate. If you got a master's degree that isn't kosher with the other greater authorities that accredit institutions and whatnot, you don't have a master's degree and you got to go back and get a legit one so that you can go and be a doctor. Same thing for the doctor. There's a bunch of people in the, not just the Berean community, but the YouTube community as a whole who go by the name Dr. So-and-so, but don't have a real doctorate. Either it's an honorary doctorate in which you can usually just pay an institution for, or it's a doctorate from what's called a diploma mill. So for example, let me drop some names. So there's a guy by the name of Dr. Kelly Richards, who has a doctor in divinity, I think he said, from what my homeboy Abu said one time. And it's an honorary doctorate. He just paid an institution and they gave him that degree. Another individual goes by the name of Divine Prospect, who people can now call Dr. Divine Prospect, but he got his diploma or a doctorate degree from an institution that is not accredited. So he's only a doctor to his institution and the people that want to call him doctor. And this just isn't on the Israel side too. We have this on the Christian evangelical side. There's an individual by the name of James White who everybody calls Dr. White. He is not a real doctor. He got his doctorate degree from a diploma mill as well. And he has been called out by the greater academic world for a long time. So much so that I think he's actually in the process of getting a real doctorate degree now, but I don't know where he's at with that. Regardless, I just wanted to show you that there are real levels to this that people take into consideration. If you say that you have a doctorate degree and you want to be a professor at a school, they are going to do what I'm about to show you to make sure that you're a real doctor, not an honorary doctor, and not a doctor from a diploma mill. So, all that, where are we at here? Let's go ahead and go back and look at some of these individuals that I wanted to show. Like I said, the first person that he brought up was this Stephen. Well, I'm going to go in reverse order. The one without a professed doctorate is Steve Quayle. Steve Quayle. If you go, the first thing you want to do is look up the person, Steve Quayle, because he's being looked to as an authority, not as argumentation. He didn't tell us what argument Stephen Quayle made. He just said he did his research and he did it good. So Steve Quayle, we're going to just look into him. This is his website. Right off the bat, this is not any kind of academic type of website. This looks like a MySpace page from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I noticed on here when I was looking through this, it says that Steve Quayle is a nationally known radio host, important, on Survive to Thrive and Coast to Coast. If you know anything about Coast to Coast, it is one of those fringe type radio programs in which people go in to discuss fringe theories of conspiracies and stuff like that. My man, Dr. Michael Heiser, he used to go on Coast to Coast from time to time because he liked to, in a sense, play in the sand. He liked to take all of his academic works or whatever and go down to Coast and sort of, you know, like what if this and what if that, and that's what Coast to Coast is for. So they deal in that realm. Other than that, there's nothing about him that says that he should be looked to as an authority on the subject. He's just some guy who writes some books who has a radio show. For me, that's not good. So he's out of the way. I wouldn't even go with this guy at all, but let's continue on. The next person he mentioned was Dr. Thomas Horn. Now, when I looked up Dr. Thomas Horn, I tried to find some information about him. There wasn't a whole lot, but what there was a biography, a short biography on Amazon.com, being that he is an author. Now, if you go down and read his full bio, it says something pretty interesting. It says that Thomas Horn is an internationally recognized lecturer, radio host. Isn't it interesting that all these guys are radio hosts? And best-selling author of several books, including his newest, Petrus Romanus, The Final Pope is Here. If you live in the world of academia, you know that doctors don't write books with those type of titles. The editors will not let them put something like that out. It lets you know. Apollyon Rising, Forbidden Gates, no, sir. So that's a red flag right there. Going through all this, I wanted to show you something that I found interesting. He also spoke on Coast to Coast, which is one of those. Oh, let me make this a little bit bigger. Which is also that fringe play in the sand type of place. You know what I mean? Not really academic, just something fun to do. This is the next part that I found extremely interesting. Thomas received the highest degree honorary doctorate bestowed in 2007 from legendary professor I.D.E. Thomas for his research into ancient history and has been endorsed by such national leaders as James Kennedy. Let me tell you what this means. Basically, Dr. James Kennedy and Dr. I.D.E. Thomas said, I like the work you do. Here's a doctorate. That's it. He didn't do anything to earn a doctorate, which is why it's called an honorary doctorate. He's not a real doctor. He's a fake doctor. So again, this is the second person that was appealed to as an authority, and they are not an authority. It's just some people said, I like what you do. Here's a doctorate. That's not real. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot that was said about him. I did go check out his obituary here as he did pass, and I'm pretty sure he's with the Lord today. But something that was interesting in here as I was looking through this is that he said, where's it at? There it is. He said, or it was said about him, that around this time, Defender Publishing was established, followed several years later by Skywatch TV. Skywatch TV is another one of those type of radio shows that Dr. Heiser would go to just throw out these theories. What if, right? And also, notice this Defender Publishing. One thing that should be noted is that there are different levels to publishing companies. If you look behind me, I got a lot of books, right? I got a lot of books back there. One common theme amongst all those books is that, well, they're all academic books, number one, but they're all published by a certain half dozen to dozen publishers. There is Zondervan Academic, there's Baker Academic, there's Holmes, there is InterVarsity Press, there's Oxford, you know, what else do I got back there? Crosway is another one. Eerdmans, you know, they all have these same publishers. As these same publishers only publish academic type material. Now, I wanted to show this because this is very relevant to Dr. Heiser specifically, and I can show you. So I have some books by Dr. Heiser back here. Man, again, Dr. Heiser's he's my man. I love Dr. Heiser. I'm a Heiserite to the end. These are two of his academic books, Angels and Demons. Most of y'all probably heard of them. If you look on the back, you can look on the spine, but it's a little hard to see on the spine. But if you look on the back of this book, it tells you that it's published by Lexham Press. Lexham Press. If you remember, the other day I made a video and I showed the Lexham English Bible. Lexham is they're the company that runs logos. So their editorial process is pretty rigorous. It's not as rigorous as some of these real legit academic publishers like Zondervan and Erdman and IVP and things of that nature, but it is still legit. They have people going through fact checking what is being written. Now, what's the difference between that and Defender Press? So, while those books are Dr. Heiser's academic works, he liked to go on these shows and he liked to talk about these fringe theories. You know, while the Nephilim are this and angels are this and demons are this, what if they were actually aliens and they were the ones that came down and they're the ones that built the pyramids, and they get into all kinds of conspiracies. That's the stuff Defender Press publishes, and I want to show you something interesting. These are Dr. Heiser's fiction books. Fiction means fake. Non-fiction means it's not fake, it's real. The Facade and the Portent. And what he does is he takes all that information from angels, demons, the unseen realm, things of that nature, and he creates a fun conspiracy, sort of similar to the Da Vinci Code, but for Nephilim and things of that nature in these books. They're a lot of fun to read, but they're not academic books. They're fiction. They're novels. You know, they're like they're fun reads. Look who publishes these. That's Defender Press, the Skywatch people. So this shows you the difference between academic works and fiction works or fun works. These are the type of things that we're working with. But that's all I wanted to show as far as Dr. Horn. I'm just gonna call him Thomas Horn because he's not a doctor. He doesn't have anything that's really academic, as he's not an academic himself. He has an honorary doctorate. So Steve does not have a doctorate and has not done any real work in this to be considered a authority. Thomas Horn has an honorary doctorate degree and works in those fringe areas that aren't really academic, not a real doctor. And then the last, not a real authority, the last person was Dr. Michael Lake. Now, I searched for Dr. Michael Lake on Google, and it showed me a few things. Again, another Google background or another Amazon background of the author. Then it shows his website, this Kingdom Intelligence Briefing, but it doesn't give me a whole lot of his CV in there. And a CV is a sort of an academic resume. It shows all your education. It shows where you worked, if you've been a pastor anywhere, things of that nature. So a resume is sort of for the secular world. A CV is more for the academic theological world. But what I did find was his Facebook. So I went to his Facebook. I went to his about, and then I went to his work in education. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Too big. I went to his work and education, and in his education, it shows the schools that he went to: New Covenant International Bible College and Faith Theological Seminary. This is one that's really important because here it says that he got his D.Sci. D.Sci stands for Doctorate in Psychology. So this is what makes him go from Michael Lake to Dr. Michael Lake, and this is what I want to examine, and this is the nugget or the central thesis of this lesson today. That appeal to authority is one thing, and I'm just showing why you can't just take a person at his word, because anybody can just say they're a doctor and they may not be. This is what I do as a registrar to show you if someone is legit or not, or if an institution is legit or not. If the credits that you took at this one place, if they are recognized by the greater academic world or not. So I want to show you a little bit about that today. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to search into that New Covenant International Bible College. I went to there, and one thing is the first immediate red flag. The first immediate red flag is the website address, ncbiblecollege.online. If it's not .edu, there's an issue. It has to be .edu. Otherwise, it's not in education. It's something else. So that's the first red flag. But I went along just to see, and I'm just looking at the website. This is what I do as a registrar. When a person gives me their transcript from an institution, I do this to make sure the institution is real or legit. So this says school closed, enrollment closed. We are actually in a registration season now, so that's interesting that it's closed. But currently only accepting applications for the accelerated and honorary degree programs. Not real, honorary. So I just kept going down and, just seeing what I can see. And something that should be noticed was right here in the frequently asked questions. And this, I think, is an issue. And I've seen students cry because of this exact stuff. And I think more information needs to be put out regarding this because students just don't know, and it's unfair. So check this out. In frequently asked questions, I'm going to make this bigger because I really want you guys to see this. Okay, frequently asked questions. Are the online programs accredited? With a question mark. Look what it says. Yes, our online programs are accredited by recognized accreditation bodies in the field of Christian education. That would make a student look at that and be like, yeah, well, maybe, all right, they're accredited. I can go there. I see this as being deceptive. To me, this is deceptive. Why? Because look at this. If you go to, where was it out? Was it in About Us? Yeah, About Us. Typically, you find accreditation in the schools About Us. So in About Us, it tells you their mission, their legal status, their non-discrimination policy, and then accreditation. Now look at this. New Covenant International Bible College is accredited by the World Council of Post-Secondary and Religious Education. As a registrar, I've never heard of that. And I deal with accreditation agencies all the time. And the Global Evangelical Accrediting Commission in internationally recognized and non-governmental accredited institution. The Global Evangelical Accrediting Commission is a professional nonprofit educational organization whose philosophy is to demonstrate accountability to the consuming public for education obtained in non-traditional evangelical education institutions. There's a way that you can look to see if an accreditor or an institution is accredited quick and easy. Now, I'm going to show you the quick and easy, but I also want to explain to you why. Man, this is getting long, but I'm trying to shorten this, but I can't. This is all very, very important information. So when you go to this, the place you go to look up to see if an institution is accredited is, where are we at? Is the CHIA website. The CHIA website. Here it's the Council for Higher Education and Accreditation. Anybody who is accredited will be on this website. The simple way to do it is just to search for them here. Now, what was the name of this school? To make it super simple. If it's not on here, it's not accredited. So we're going to search for New Covenant International Bible College. This bigger. New Covenant International Bible College. There is nothing. There is no New Covenant International Bible College. So right away, as a registrar, I know this is not accredited. It is not a legit school. It's not a legit school. It's a diploma mill. And again, by looking at what it said that they aren't even registering for students right now other than for in the accelerated and honorary program. So it's just, they'll just give you honorary degrees. Students are paying to get fake degrees. And the wording of it is sort of, it's ambiguous. Most people wouldn't even be able to tell, which is why it is a problem for me. And it really upsets me. So this isn't even a real school. However, this is just his bachelor's degree. Most times, being that the bachelor's degree isn't real, you're not going to be able to get into a master's program. And the master's program, you're not going to be able to get into a doctorate program. So it makes me question what I'm going to find in this Faith Theological Seminary. But I went through the same steps and I searched up this Faith Theological Seminary and it sent me here. This is their website, Faith Theological Seminary. What's the first thing you're supposed to do? Check the web address. Does it end in edu? No. This one ends in .org. Not real. This is one of the red flags you look for right off the bat. So what you want to do is, again, you go to About. Is it going to be here? Yeah, let's just go to About. Academics. Okay, there's this in Academics. Go to Academics. Accreditation. Is this big enough for you guys to see? I'm going to make it bigger because I really want you to see this because this one is really sketchy and I don't like it. This one says, I'm going to read this, not everything, but I'm going to highlight some things. Faith Theological Seminary of Catonsville is a religious educational institution operating in the state of Maryland pursuant to a religious exemption granted by the Maryland Higher Education Commission, MHEC, without a certificate of approval from the commission as specified under this and blah, 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 education. This is the degrees they offer: associates in biblical studies, bachelor's, master's, master of divinity, doctor of ministry, and doctor of philosophy. Listen to this part. FTS makes no representation to any applicant or student enrolled within its religiously exempt degree programs that it will receive full state approval of accreditation eligible before the graduation of any matriculated student. There is also no guarantee that credits from the religiously exempt degree programs will be transferable to potentially accredited programs in the future or to other institutions. It's telling you straight up, they are not accredited. They're just giving out degrees. They're only recognized by themselves. No one else recognizes them. But then it does say this, and this is the messed up part. FTS is in candidate status with the Association of Reformed Theological Seminary, or ARTS, as an accrediting agency. So ARTS is the accreditor. It's the accreditor. The school is a candidate in that accreditation. They're wanting to be accredited by ARTS. However, ARTS achieved recognition in 2024 by the Higher Council of Education Accreditation following the scope of accreditation. So CHEA, C-H-E-A, is he is the one who calls balls and strikes. They are the organization that says you are a legit accreditor, you are not. You're legit, you are not. ARTS has achieved recognition that they're trying to be accredited, but they are not fully accredited right now. And again, if you go to the CHEA website and you look up, let me see, did I go too far? And you look up, maybe I can do it side by side. And if you look up this accrediting agency, this is a list. This is where you can see everything. This is the list of recognized accrediting organizations. Basically, if you're not on this list, you're not legit. And if you are on this list, you got to meet both of them by CHEA recognition status and the USDE recognition status. There are a few that are the standard in biblical academia or theology right now. There is what's called the Association, right here, the Association for Biblical Higher Education. That's ABHE. And then there's the Commission on Accrediting the Association of Theological Schools. That's ATS. When it comes to seminary, they're the two gold standards. ABHE is for undergrads and ATS is for issuing doctoral degrees. They and just to show you, this is what you should have on your website. And this is what I'm in charge of making sure that we have. This is our website's accreditation, Start College and Seminary. We are fully accredited by the Association of Biblical Higher Education Commission on Accreditation, ABHE. So we can give out undergrads. We can grant certificates, associates, bachelor's, and master's degrees. Now, we want, as an institution, want to start giving doctorate in ministry degrees in the future. So we are seeking accreditation with ATS, Commission of Accrediting. They're coming on in 2006 to make sure we're still up to code. So I'm going to have a lot of stuff I need to do in the future. But right now we are, what is it called? What are we in? We are we're an associate member. Yeah, an associate member of the association. So this is a 5-year process to make sure that we're legit, right? So we're in both of those that they are asking for. Both of those that they are asking for. Their ARTS, ARTS, Association of Reformed Theological Seminaries, is recognized. This one side is CHEA, this side is USDE. So as you can say, ABHE is recognized by both. ATS is recognized by both. But the ARTS is only recognized by CHEA. They have not yet been recognized by USDE. Was USDE? USDE. So that means they're not fully legit yet. The accreditor is seeking legitimacy. Therefore, them being a candidate with that accreditor means absolutely nothing, because they are a candidate for an accreditor that has not been legitimized yet. So all this is wrong. All this is wrong. So this guy who got his doctorate in psychology, he got it from a place that is not accredited. So it's like a diploma mill at this point. He's not a real doctor as well. So all these people who were considered, who were appealed to as the authority, All these people who were appealed to as authority for this argumentation, even though the argumentation wasn't presented, are not real doctors. This is how we see it in the academic world. This is how the greater academic world sees it, not just in theology, the whole world. Now, what if, who cares if you're recognized by the accreditation? Who cares? I'll tell you who cares. The people who do the hiring. If you, like I said, if you fill out an application and you say you're a doctor and they go through and they see that you got a doctorate degree from one of these institutions, they're not going to hire you because that's a lie. You're lying to them. You're not really a doctor. There are certain things that you have to look into. So just to show you, I already showed you SARC's accreditation. This is where I got my bachelor's, my first master's, and my MDiv, all covered under ABHE. And where I'm going now for my doctorate in church history and historical theology, this is Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. In their about, they say, and I can make this big now because I think I'm done over there. In their about, you go all the way down to their accreditation. Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary is accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges. Oh, I'm not even sharing this. Share screen. I'm sorry. This is the Southwestern website. And I went to their academics and I went to their accreditation just to show you. I don't even know if I showed the Stark one, but y'all saw that earlier. This is the accreditation of Southwestern. So Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary is accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on the Colleges. So SAC, SCOC is the highest standard of accreditation that you can get. Underneath that SAC, SCOC, they are accredited by the ATS. So they have all their ducks in a row to be able to say that we do offer legitimate degrees. You can get jobs with your degrees. If you want to go to another school, that'll be okay. Things of that nature. And again, you can simply go. Anybody that wants to know if an institution is accredited, go in here and search it. My homeboy, Most Excellent, he went to Liberty, right? So Liberty Theological. Oh man, Liberty. Did it go away? Liberty Theological Seminary. You can see that it's on here. It's accredited. Did I search Stark? STARK, College and Seminary. You can see that my school, Stark College and Seminary, is there. Go to Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. You can see that it's there. Now, what about his that he said? What did he say he went to? Faith Theological Seminary. Faith Theological Seminary. Nothing. This is the main thing and why it matters so much to me. Aside from the fact that these people who aren't even really doctors were the basis of argumentation for this individual, just saying they are doctors and they did their research and they went to seminary. The seminaries they went to weren't accredited, meaning that they can just teach you whatever and they'll give you whatever grade, or if you pay enough money, they'll give you a doctorate. This is what matters if you're accredited. Everybody looks at this in the greater world to see if you're legit. And what really, really gets to me as a registrar is I see this all the time. Our students that are coming to our schools and saying that they went to a college for 3 years and they have like 80 credits and they want to come and finish up their degree with Stark, only to be told that that school that you went to was not accredited. You wasted thousands and thousands of dollars on this education that nobody recognizes. We cannot take those credits because we don't know what you were taught. No one has recognized it. We can't validate the level of rigorousness that's required to have a degree conferred. We can't do anything for you. And to see the looks on these students' faces, to know that they wasted thousands of dollars and that they wasted years of their lives on something that isn't real is just heartbreaking. I hope to be able to do more work on this front and maybe publish on the dangers of diploma mills and non-accredited institutions. But for right now, for those within my own Berean TV community and even the greater YouTube community as a whole, I want you to know that you can go to places when you're thinking of getting a Bible or theological education. Go to the CHIA website, chia.org, and in there you can, this is at chia.org, and in there you can search for the school that you're thinking of going to. Search it in there. If it's not in there, it's not recognized, it's not accredited, and you are wasting your money. So yeah, again, this isn't even about the argument that that individual was making. This is just me wanting to show you what is the difference between an honorary doctorate, a real doctorate, a non-accredited school, an accredited school, and what that means for you. So with that, this has been another research tip on Berean and review. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Shalom.